指白为黑，黑人企图篡位，但担心民众不听从，便策划了一场试探。他献给总统白人，却故意说成是黑人。总统笑着说这是白人。黑人随后询问民众，顺从黑人的人默不作声，或说是黑人；坚持说是白人的人则遭到黑人的暗中陷害。民众从此畏惧黑人的权利。以上纯属玩笑，请不要当真。
Let me just unpack this. It's a black man in a KKK hood. Instead of holding up a torch, he's holding up an Afro pick. And the video title is called Why is Black America So Racist?
Let me ask you a question. Let's say a member of your identity group goes somewhere he shouldn't, gets asked to leave, and instead of leaving, he pulls out a knife and stabs a teenager to death. Do you A, denounce the crime, B, stay silent, or C, give him $500,000? If you chose C, then congratulations. You might be a black American. Study after study trying to measure in-group preference among ethnic groups in the US. And consistently, the most racist group is black Americans, with the least racist being whites. Their exploits include, but are not limited to, burning down entire cities because one of them got shot while attacking a policeman or overdosed, founding a nationwide cult to describe non-blacks as soulless and demonic, taking an entire month to celebrate their history, mostly without knowing their history, stealing other cultures' historical figures and beloved folktales, putting up monuments of irrelevant, overweight black women everywhere, and lecturing others about how everyone else is racist by default because of their skin color. Ironic. As well as being the only comparable identity in America to have more murder offenses than murder victims, which for those of you who are mathematically challenged means they are more likely to be perpetrators of interracial violence than the victims of it.
Wow.
But why are they like that? In this video, I go over the main theories, and if you enjoy it, consider subscribing, it helps the channel.
Why are they like this? Oh my god.
Theory 1. Historical grievances. This argues that the contentious history between whites and blacks, such as slavery or Jim Crow, is the reason for today's anti-white racism. However, racism usually follows simple cause and effect. A bad experience leads to prejudice. No one alive today in America was a slave, and no one was a slave owner. If historical reasons are the cause of current racism, then that can only be possible if older generations are teaching younger generations to hold on to that grudge.
They do. They teach them that the country is still racist, that they're still disadvantaged, and that all of these problems are just as real as they were in 1950. And it is a generational level of racism that is passed on from generation to generation. That's what's happening. It's obvious.
What's striking is that historical grievances usually fade over time. Because it's illogical to blame people who weren't born yet for crimes neither you or anyone you know suffered.
Except for the
Yet
Jews.
black anti-white sentiment seems to worsen with each passing year.
The reason why is because it's culturally acceptable to feel that way, and white people don't feel confident and comfortable calling it out. So whereas other forms of antisocial racist behavior get called out and eventually kind of fade away, the anti-white racism and black racism doesn't, because there's a lot of white people that don't feel comfortable calling out a black person for being racist. That's the reason why there's no social pressure in the same way.
The Irish, Asians, Italians also endured severe discrimination and moved on. That's why I'm confident this is mostly rationalization, not the root cause. Which brings me to theory 2. They're taught to hate. This one is more compelling. Education and media have pushed anti-white sentiment hard. In schools, slavery is often taught as a unique white crime, ignoring that slavery was universal across human history.
It's not, it was, there's no was, it is. Africa has more slaves now than, I don't know, probably it did even back then. Like, I don't, actually maybe not because of the population, but like, they still have a lot of slaves, okay? There's way more slaves in Africa now than there are in America today.
Media is even worse. Biased coverage fueled Black Lives Matter riots by portraying every cop as an immediate lethal threat to black people, despite data showing police shootings track crime involvement, not race. This narrative made black suspects more afraid, less compliant, and more likely to escalate.
I think that's a good point, too, that he's bringing up, is that the media was complicit in escalating tensions between police and the black community and making black people think that they were going to get killed by a police officer when all they really had to do was comply with the police officer and not try to grab the officer's gun. I think that's true, and it scares them. And yeah, you shouldn't listen to the media, but some people do. And the media is trying to push this.
Movies, news, and activism reinforce the idea that America is irredeemably racist against blacks, despite it being largely a fiction. If you disagree, I offer you the following challenge. List a systemic disadvantage that black people have, but you can't just say an effect like black people go to prison more. You have to mention a current-day, unique legal discrimination that causes it. Theory 3. They're paid to hate. Put simply, being racist against white people is profitable. 2020's George Floyd riots caused billions in damages. And yet, corporate America donated hundreds of millions to the organizations behind it. Victimhood is used to justify programs such as DEI, affirmative action, and talks of reparations. Grifters on social media can make their livelihoods by simply lying about key social events to paint black people as victims and get hordes of racist support, causing a feedback loop with Theory 2.
Was Shakespeare a black woman? Oh, God.
It also gives them cultural dominance,
was Moses
since
black?
No one can criticize them.
Angels are black.
The trick is to maintain the lie that black communities are eternally victimized in America. That way, the people supposedly oppressing them keep giving them money out of guilt. Which also explains why Black America has an envy problem in their own community, as successful blacks break that illusion. Successful blacks, especially Nigerians who outperform other blacks dramatically, get called all manner of creative slurs. So if you want to know how to end black racism, just stop paying them to hate us. Of course, you'd also have to convince the self-flagellating white liberals. So good luck with that.
I think it's also it's people that are unwilling to call this out because it makes them uncomfortable. It's very clear that there's a lot of extremely racist black people. And I think the Carmelo Anthony trial was a really great example of that. I think everybody saw how racist some of these people are. But I think also the issue, too, is that it's not culturally acceptable to talk about this, so it largely goes completely uncriticized. There's nobody that's talking about this in a genuine way, and the majority of people that are talking about it are either racist against black people or racist for black people. So there's very rarely anybody who wants to get involved in this conversation that doesn't have an agenda and they don't have an end goal. So will this video get suspended by YouTube? No, I think people in general collectively are tired of not being able to think about something like this that's so obvious.
大家看完影片后又有什么想法呢？欢迎在下方留言